to the Dr. Love Show. Today, we have interesting topics of school, special needs children, love lives, marriage, teenagers, life, good stuff. I have two amazing women with me today, a mother-daughter team, Denise and Sarah. And I would love for the both of you to tell us a little bit about who you are. Sarah, I know you're going into the 10th grade.
Yes.
And
I'm trying to break into the acting industry.
Nice. Wonderful. Thank you for being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And Denise?
Hi, Dr. Love.
We gotta hear you. We gotta hear you.
This is all natural. So,
we
like you said, my name is Denise. I'm a mom of two teenagers, ages 15 and 17. I've dabbled in writing and taking our experiences and turning them into a reality TV show.
Awesome. And the reality TV show is on special needs children?
It's on special needs children, and one of our cast members is a special needs advocate. So we have a special needs advocate and 3 moms of kids who have issues ranging from ADHD to autism.
Interesting. I have a special interest in this topic myself, being an ADD kid myself. And that was before the whole term special needs, I think, came out. And ADHD is now the term. And before we could be as popular as you are, Sarah, that's when I was, dealing with that.
Yes.
And we continuously do. So I'd love to have more tips from both of you as well as to how you think that we can improve this community. So Sarah, tell us about this new term about going into 10th grade. We can't say she's in 9th grade or in 10th yet, but it's going into 10th grade.
I'm finishing up 9th in a few weeks, and then after that I'm starting 10th. It's undecided if I'm going to public or private school, or if I'm doing another year of homeschool, because all the schools that would give me what I need are full, so it makes it a bit of a more difficult decision to make.
Wow. Is that standard? Because I know you live in New York City.
Yes.
Wow. What would you like? If you could just dream it yourself, I mean, what would be ideal for you to enjoy school and feel like you learn the most that you can learn?
I think that there should be more schools than buildings, but I know that's never going to happen because there needs to be a safe environment where kids can learn no vaping, no smoking.
I don't even know what that is. Okay, vaping. Oh, vaping. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. I can't believe that the teenagers of today get to be concerned about these things. Where do you stand on, what do you think is best for your own daughter?
So, there have been issues in every school that she has been in since, I'd say, 2nd grade. And then I get confronted with, well, why is she the only one that's had all these issues? And the reality is that different parents I've met along the way, every school that she has been in, we could have a class action lawsuit, meaning that every year that she's been in school, I could have other parents file a lawsuit against that school for every grade she's been in.
So I want to get into both of your opinions as women in a family close as you can be, mother and daughter, in an uncomfortable topic, because that's what Dr. Love does. So Not too uncomfortable, no one worry. But I am wondering, what is standard in an upper class world of teenagers these days for them to date? At what age does that start happening? I'd like to hear both of your analysis on that, and let's see if it matches.
Kindergarten. Sarah got her first kiss in pre-K on the cheek, so
I don't remember
oh
that.
my
I
goodness.
don't remember that.
I'll tell
I
you
did
later.
not
Okay.
expect that one. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. I feel like for teenagers, like, they don't actually start dating till they're about 17, 18, but there's like this such thing as teen dating, I guess. But they really don't know what dating is until they get older.
Teen dating. Let's explore that. Mom, what does that mean?
Well, I'm impressed.
That's the best way to say it.
I'm impressed. I think dating means different things to different kids. There isn't one way to date.
Sure. Do you guys have any ideas on any further storylining in this department? You know, it's an uncomfortable situation to have mother and daughter and pry about dating. But I think that it's a interesting topic. I think that teenagers these days are growing up very fast, and they probably, you know, have their own idea of it. So, when do you want to get married, Sarah?
I don't know.
Have you ever even thought about it? I'm just wondering.
No. No.
Good. I'm
I
glad
don't
teenagers
think
are
about
still
that.
teenagers.
Yay!
Yay! You make me happy.
You're embarrassing me.
I'm so sorry, but that's what you get. Coming to my show. Even Lola wants to, you know, someday think about that. Lola is my my doggy. So, Denise,
Yes,
tell
Dr.
us
Love.
about any suggestions that you can give any of us on parenting for the special needs children in our community, which is, we all have heard of it. We all know students and parents who are dealing with this in modern day time. And I'd like to explore this a little bit more.
Thank you. I think that society thinks that special needs is a catch-all phrase. It encompasses a lot of learning differences and different ways of being in which society as a whole finds not always acceptable, whether it's ADHD or autism or a physical disorder, that there isn't a lot of respect given across the board to different personalities and different learning differences.
Sure.
And
let's explore the difference of ADD and autism, because they're extremely different spectrums of the special needs community, as I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
So I would like to hear from both of you what you think the main difference is, because I think a lot of parents and people in general have wondered, because when this topic is talked about, it's usually all thrown in together in a smorgasbord.
that's correct.
And it's not necessarily accurate. So what would you say is the difference in how you can educate that to us?
I feel like ADHD is more focusing, having trouble focusing. I feel like autism has more to do with how you're acting.
Interesting. That helps me be able to organize these terms better in my brain, probably than ever before. So thank you, Sarah.
No problem.
And Denise, what would you say?
It's a dicey question because it depends on who you talk to. There is an overlap of symptoms between the autism spectrum, and now they're getting rid of certain labels where Asperger's is part of the autism spectrum, and they're not using Asperger's anymore.
What exactly does Asperger's mean? Because I've heard that as well, and I study psychology, so I know clinically, textbook, what they say about it, but I'd like to hear a little bit more.
Well, mostly from where I'm sitting and what I get out of it is that it's there is a difference in the way someone socializes, although they're very, very bright. They don't pick up social cues as much, and they have a harder time socializing than the average person or typically developing person.
Okay.
I have to be very careful with the words I use because if I say, normal, well, we're all normal, typically developing,
Sure.
it's very, I found it to be a very
Sure.
controversial.
Sure, but we are talking, it is special needs. So let's get to the heart of Dr. Love in regards to special needs, because everyone is entitled and a lot of times desiring of a healthy love life. What have you seen is typical or atypical in love lives when it comes to when people are labeled special needs, and what advice can you give in regards to that?
Well, I think that love is love and liking is liking, and I think that I've seen all types of people have relationships and fall in love, and I think it has a lot to do with the support systems and the communities that they're in that have the ability to support certain relationships.
Beautiful. And Sarah, what would you add to this?
About the same thing.
Yeah.
And you just kind of got to be careful who you talk to because social media can be dangerous these days. You don't know who's on the other end. Even with devices, you don't know if it's
Sure.
recording your voice. Just technology these days is a bit harder to understand.
Sure. Yes, it seems also too that meeting people through family and parties and introduction is safer. It would seem, I think, for teenagers when they start dating versus the whole technology stuff too. That might not be anything you've ever even thought about, but
Yeah, because you never know when
my
they're
mind
gonna
is going about it.
fake their age. You don't know when they're gonna stop. You don't know when they're gonna start. Gotta be careful.
And so let's talk about social media. How are you addicted to social media? Are you on it a lot? I'm always interested to see where people's where they are in that scale of the social media craze, modern day time.
Actually, I got rid of a lot of it. I got rid of Instagram, Snapchat due to hate, people just hacking. I feel like it's really disappointing that people have to hack. And then it just goes along with dating that if they want to date you and they just keep asking you out, they reject you, then they threaten to hack. It's just that type of thing.
Wow,
So-
it's gotten to this level.
So it's like
Wow.
technology and always on the other end of technology, there's someone controlling it. So you gotta be careful of what you put out there.
Wow. Good point. Thank you, Sarah.
No problem.
I'm one of those people, I hate to have to be safe and dibble and tiptoe around anything. But I did send something to just Facebook the other day that I was a little ludicrous at the amount of some just like strangers that just got to bother me. And I'm like, why is this happening? And I guess a lot of us just accept that, these days. And I always say, please stop using Facebook for dating, anyone out there. If you're doing it, knock it off.
I can go on and laugh about this for a while.
So, ladies, tell me what's going on for fun in your itineraries for this year. Any fun places to travel? Family trips? How many family trips do you guys do a year?
We usually take one big trip a year. This year it's not happening. We're going to Arizona. We have family in Arizona. Last year we went to Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico? How was
We've
that?
been to the Virgin Islands.
Wow.
And we went on a 32-day family trip throughout Australia, New Zealand, California.
Aussie all the way.
And passed out in Arizona before heading home. So the four of us in a hotel room, bumming around.
4
the country.
family members in a hotel room for 32 days.
A couple
guys
times
are
we
my
had
idols.
to sleep.
What was your favorite animal in Australia, Sarah?
Oh God, I have way too many.
Oh.
It's kind of hard for me to decide between koala and kangaroos, but I'm gonna have to say koala bears because they're cuter and you get to hold them. Very small, amazing.
How big is a koala bear realistically? Since I only see them on magazines and stuff.
So a koala bear is maybe about this big. It just depends on the size because when we went, we were holding baby ones. And they were switching them out every like 10, 15 minutes, which is really nice. So they did get a break.
Did you see any parent koala bears?
I held one.
Aww.
They're bigger and heavier, but they train you how to hold them. You're not allowed to touch them because they don't want you abusing them. So you just hold them and then they hug you and you can go like that, and feel them a little
I
bit.
actually held one of them, but it was like a bigger one. But I held them twice, but in different places because we went to like this really cool zipline place in Cairns. Very cool place.
Nice. So the size of the koala bear, the adult one, is it like the size of Sarah's whole torso here? Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're
From
really
shoulder to-
hugging them.
So it's
Yeah.
like here to about here, and you just hug them. They're so cute.
Aw.
Very rough. I thought it was going to be a lot softer, so I was kind of a bit disappointed.
Did
But
you
you
have
still have
sleeveless tank top on or anything?
Oh,
No.
yes, I did.
Did you?
I had to even redo one of the pictures.
I don't remember that.
I did. We went to the zipline place.
Okay.
Just don't wear yellow in pictures. That's all I gotta say.
Sarah, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I definitely want to do something related to acting in movies. I'm actually trying to break into the industry, as I mentioned earlier, so still working on that. And it's kind of disappointing how I've received emails of people wanting to work with me, but they're all non-legit agencies, so you kind of just gotta watch out for people asking for money and that stuff.
Wow, I'm sure it's a difficult, career move to make and to try to infiltrate without getting a referral for some sort of acting agent or agent of some sort versus a random situation online. It has to be something very interesting to explore and do well and right. What's been your experience with it from the mom perspective and the one that is going to have to dish out any money, really, in order for Sarah to explore this? I mean, what have you found?
So, from what I understand, there are two schools of thought. There's the school of thought where you can put videos on YouTube and fill out applications and send in photos. And then there's the other way where you have to spend money, but I really don't think that that's the most productive way to go about it. Number one, you're spending money when you don't have to, because supposedly you get the headshots. We're going to get headshots again when Sarah's braces come off. And and just send them out to agencies that target teens. Now, there's a school of thought that it's very difficult, it's competitive. To me, life is competitive, and going after what you want is competitive.
It's always a competition.
Exactly.
Sure. And you are wanting to take this on and just truckle on down, huh?
No one can throw me
love
back
it.
from succeeding any of my challenges.
Aw,
Beautiful.
that is a beautiful persona and energy to take in life. Will get you very far.
A few people have doubted me, but I'm just going to kind of block all that out.
I'm so glad to hear this, because there's always somebody supporting us out there, and then unfortunately there's always somebody who's not necessarily supporting, and it is life, it is a part of life that we all have to accept, kind of like dating, though we can't really talk about it because Sarah's a teenager. But you and I know as adults it's the same thing, in our love lives we have people that support us more so, and then we have some that don't feel like they do, and it is just a part of life. And so when you stay positive the way Sarah is, and just about her and her goals and how she's going to succeed regardless of anyone else, I think is the best place to be.
Amen.
Thank you very much for that. Oh, there's Lola barking away. So, Sarah, you wanted to talk a little bit about school. So please, talk about school. What do we need to know about school?
So sometimes you have to go through the worst to get to the bright side. I was in a few different public schools. They both had their issues with non-compliance from the DOE, the staff, and a lot of other stuff. Whether it's following an individualized education plan or smoking or vaping in the classroom.
Kids, what's the smoking and vaping stuff? This is all like so out of my, it's making me feel old, actually. This wasn't an issue for, what are you doing over there with your fingers right now? What's going on here?
I'll explain. So kids have flash drives that they blow into, and it actually turns out it's vaping flash drives.
It's a
What?
vapor mechanism that looks like a USB flash drive.
Wow. Oh, and so they're getting to smoke it in
And
class?
they're inhaling
and sneaking
in the
it
classroom.
Oh, my.
So if your child comes home and says there's vaping in the classroom and a teacher denies it, they're not making it up.
fascinating. So I hear kids aren't taught how to cursive handwrite anymore either. I'm so out of the loop because I don't have children.
It's gonna take you a few years to catch up.
Oh! If ever, I'll leave it you two up to consultants on that.
You're gonna have to go through the news to catch up on that before you can catch up on latest trends.
Don't make me watch the news, please.
We go through news blackouts where we just shut it off.
And I even lose my electronics over stupid rants.
Oh my goodness. I sit around listening to spiritual, fluffy, cloudy stuff, ladies.
So do I.
So I'm out of the loop on this. And also, what did you want to talk about anything in regards to Hollywood? We have a few minutes left, and I wanted to know your passions currently. Denise is somebody who's written a script on her passion through her daughter on special needs children. And I think it's a beautiful thing and I'm sure a lot of work that you put into that. And what are your dreams and your goals with that?
So I've been writing for the past 10 years on different situations that have come up with us. And I put a cast together a few years ago. And we're finally getting a ball rolling. We launched our YouTube channel, and it follows families of children with special needs, where it follows our family, follows another family of teens who were all adopted separately, being raised by two parents. Another one, it follows, I call her the Dr. Ruth of the autism community. Another one wrote and produced a film about kids of siblings with autism.
Wow.
So there's
and
a lot
is this a channel
going
you
on.
Brought together with these stories? Wow.
So I have
an
agent, and we decided I should get the cast sizzle reels up and create a YouTube channel and launch it and get viewer feedback, potential viewer feedback. Because as far as I'm concerned, special needs is one degree of separation at this point. Like there's someone who knows someone who's struggling with something.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're all special and we all have needs. That's my joke. But there are some that require a little bit more support than others. And the education system is one industry that I hope to educate our viewers in, because there is neglect with some students in some schools where they don't follow the IEPs, which is an individual education plan. They don't follow the mandated therapies, and the principals just shrug because they focus on test scores and they focus on the dollar signs.
And so whose responsibility is that? Because I didn't follow anything when I was in school. So whose responsibility is that? The students or the parents or the institutions?
So that's a really good question, because you could have a very qualified teacher teaching, but then you have the school politics, and then you have the principal that has their own agenda. You have the superintendent that has their own agenda. And then you have parents advocating for the kids. And then there's backlash on the parents for advocating for the kids, whether or not, even if it's in a respectful manner. So it's pretty much do as I say, and there won't be any problems.
So what is your goal with your message, with your writing, and with your YouTube channel? What's your goal?
So our cast goal is to validate, educate, inspire, and motivate parents to continue to be proactive in the lives of their families.
You wrap up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, ladies, thank you so much. Do you have any final words there, Missy?
Yes.
You're producing and directing already, I can see. What are your final words, Sarah, after today's show?
If you're not alone and everyone's going through similar experiences, then you just gotta hold your head high.
Thank you. Beautiful. And Denise?
Never give up. Always advocate for your child, and reach out if you feel like you're in this alone, because you're not.
Beautiful. Thank you both so much for being here, and we will see you all
Thank you.
on the
Thanks
next
for having us.
episode of the Dr. Love Show.